The city slept, unaware of the drama about to unfold. Rain lashed against the windows of the city hospital. A bolt of lightning illuminated the sky, followed by a deafening roar of thunder. The wind howled, shaking the trees outside. Inside, Nurse Sophie was working the night shift, a sense of unease creeping into her heart. The power flickered, plunging the hallway into darkness for a moment. Sophie rushed to check on the patients, her heart pounding. Just as she sighed with relief, a low growl echoed from the emergency room entrance. It sent shivers down her spine. This was no ordinary storm. This was a night that would change everything. Sophie froze, her hand clutching her ID badge. Her eyes darted towards the source of the sound. A figure emerged from the shadows, its silhouette illuminated by the lightning outside. It was a lion, a magnificent beast with golden fur, its eyes burning bright in the darkness. Fear threatened to consume Sophie, but she stood her ground. The lion padded into the room, its movements surprisingly graceful. In its mouth, held gently by a piece of cloth, was a tiny human baby. The baby, wrapped in a tattered pink blanket, looked so small and vulnerable against the lion's powerful jaws. The sight was both terrifying and awe-inspiring, a strange juxtaposition that sent chills down Sophie's spine. Sophie's training kicked in, pushing aside her fear. She knew she had to help the baby. Taking a deep breath, she slowly approached the lion, her hands held out in a gesture of peace. "It's all right," she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "I'm here to help." To her surprise, the lion seemed to understand. It lowered its head slightly, allowing Sophie to get a better look at the baby. The baby, a girl, was fast asleep, oblivious to the danger she had been in and the unusual circumstances of her arrival. Sophie's heart melted with a surge of protective instincts. Sophie carefully lifted the baby from the lion's grasp. Her heart pounded in her chest as she felt the weight of the tiny life in her hands. The baby was so small, so fragile, and yet had somehow survived in the wild. Sophie couldn't help but wonder how this little one had ended up in such a perilous situation. The lion didn't resist, its intense gaze following her every move. It was as if the lion understood the gravity of the situation and trusted Sophie to take care of the baby. The connection between the lion and the baby was inexplicable yet undeniable. Sophie felt a strange sense of gratitude towards the majestic creature. The baby stirred in her arms, her tiny face scrunched up in sleep. Sophie could see the exhaustion etched on the baby's face, a testament to the ordeal she had been through. She held the baby closer, whispering soothing words, hoping to provide some comfort. Sophie rushed to the nearest examination room, the lion following close behind. Her mind raced with thoughts of what needed to be done to ensure the baby's safety. The hospital was her only hope, a place where the baby could receive the care she desperately needed. The hospital staff, alerted by the commotion, rushed to the room. They were prepared for emergencies, but nothing could have prepared them for the sight that greeted them. A woman carrying a baby, followed by a lion, was something out of a storybook. They gasped in astonishment at the sight of the lion. The room fell silent, the air thick with tension and curiosity. The lion, however, remained calm, its eyes never leaving the baby. It was clear that the lion had a protective instinct towards the child. Dr. Chen, the head pediatrician, gently took the baby from Sophie. His experienced hands quickly assessed the baby's condition. He could see the signs of exposure and dehydration, but there was also a resilience in the baby's eyes that gave him hope. "She's suffering from exposure and dehydration, but she'll be all right," he reassured her. Dr. Chen's words were a balm to Sophie's frayed nerves. She felt a wave of relief wash over her, knowing that the baby was in good hands. Despite the relief flooding the room, everyone was left wondering where the baby came from, and how she ended up in the care of a wild animal. The mystery of the baby's origins and the lion's involvement was something that would linger in their minds for a long time. It was a story that defied explanation, a testament to the unpredictable nature of life. Section 5. Whispers in the Wind. News of the lion and the baby spread through the hospital like wildfire. Everyone had a theory, each more outlandish than the last. Some whispered of ancient legends and mythical creatures, while others spoke of miracles and divine intervention. Yet the truth remained a mystery, hidden somewhere in the storm-ravaged night and the lion's stoic silence. The lion, meanwhile, remained a silent observer. It sat patiently in the corner of the room, its presence both comforting and unnerving. Its eyes, filled with an ancient wisdom, seemed to hold the answers to all their questions. Sophie felt a strange connection with the majestic creature, sensing a deep sadness behind its fierce exterior. Section 6. A roar in the jungle. As the storm raged outside, mirroring the turmoil inside the hospital, Sophie found herself drawn back to the lion. She sat beside it, her hand resting gently on its massive paw. And then, in the silence of that stormy night, the lion showed her. Images flashed through Sophie's mind, vivid and terrifying. She saw a plane caught in the throes of a violent storm crashing into a dense jungle. She saw the wreckage, the flames, and heard the desperate cries for help. And then she saw the lion carefully picking its way through the debris, drawn by the faint cries of a baby. Section 7. Tiny heartbeats of hope. Sophie saw the lion gently picking up the baby, protecting it from the wreckage. She saw it carrying the baby through the jungle, navigating treacherous paths with surprising tenderness. The lion journeyed through the night, its every instinct focused on one thing: getting the baby to safety. The images faded, leaving Sophie breathless with wonder and heartbreak. She finally understood. The lion wasn't a fearsome beast, it was a protector, a guardian angel sent to save the baby. It had braved the storm, risked its own life to bring the tiny human to safety. Section 8. A silent guardian departs. As dawn broke, painting the sky with hues of pink and orange, the storm finally subsided. The air was crisp and fresh, carrying with it the scent of rain and renewal. It was a new beginning, a moment of calm after the chaos, a serene silence that spoke of hope and resilience. The hospital staff, exhausted but exhilarated, watched as the baby, now named Hope, slept peacefully in her incubator. Their faces, though lined with fatigue, glowed with a sense of accomplishment and relief. They had fought through the night, battling against the odds, and now they stood victorious, guardians of a fragile new life. The lion, its mission accomplished, rose to its feet. Its movements were slow and deliberate, each step a testament to its strength and grace. It had been a silent protector, a guardian in the shadows, and now its time had come to depart. It looked at Hope one last time, its gaze filled with an emotion that seemed like contentment. There was a depth in its eyes, a silent communication that spoke of a bond beyond words. It was as if the lion understood the significance of its presence, the role it had played in this miraculous event. Then, with the quiet grace of a king leaving his throne, the lion turned and walked towards the exit. Each step was measured, each movement a dance of elegance and power. It was a departure that carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken words, a farewell that echoed in the hearts of those who witnessed it. It paused at the doorway, its silhouette framed against the rising sun, a majestic figure bathed in the golden light of dawn. For a moment, time seemed to stand still, the world holding its breath as the lion stood on the threshold of departure before disappearing into the morning mist. The mist enveloped it, a shroud of mystery and magic, as if the lion was returning to a realm beyond the ordinary, a place where legends are born and heroes are remembered. The lion left behind a silence that was deafening, a void that spoke volumes about the extraordinary bond it had forged with the tiny human and the young nurse who dared to understand. The room, once filled with the presence of a majestic guardian, now felt empty, yet it was a silence filled with gratitude and reverence. The nurse, cradling Hope in her arms, stood in the empty room, her heart heavy with the weight of the moment. She knew that the lion's departure was not an end but a beginning. It was a reminder of the strength and courage that lies within us all, a testament to the power of hope and the enduring spirit of guardianship. Section 9. The Gift of Life. Life at the hospital slowly returned to normal, yet nothing was quite the same. The air was filled with a renewed sense of purpose, a quiet determination that seemed to touch everyone who walked through those halls. The doctors and nurses who had always been dedicated now worked with an even greater sense of urgency and compassion. They had witnessed something extraordinary, something that had changed them in ways they were only beginning to understand. The memory of the lion and its extraordinary act of courage lingered in the corridors, a constant reminder of the boundless wonders of the natural world. It was as if the lion's spirit had left an indelible mark on the hospital, a symbol of bravery and hope that would never fade. Staff members often found themselves sharing stories of that incredible day, their voices filled with awe and reverence. Hope, thriving under the care of the hospital staff, became a symbol of resilience, a testament to the enduring power of life. The baby, named Hope by the nurses, was a living reminder of the miracle they had all witnessed. Every smile, every coo, every tiny heartbeat was a celebration of life, a beacon of light in a world that often seemed so dark. Sophie, forever changed by her encounter, continued her work with renewed purpose. She'd always been passionate about her job, but now there was a deeper meaning to her every action. She felt a connection to the lion, a sense of duty to honor its sacrifice by giving her all to her patients. Her colleagues noticed the change in her, the way her eyes seemed to shine with a new light, a reflection of the hope she carried within her. She often found herself looking at the sky, searching for a glimpse of the majestic golden lion, a silent promise passing between them, a shared secret held safe in the stillness of their hearts. It was a bond that transcended words, a connection that reminded her of the beauty and mystery of life. Every time she looked up, she felt a sense of peace, knowing that the lion's spirit was watching over them all. The lion's gift was not just the baby's life. It was a renewed faith in humanity, a reminder that even in the darkest storms, hope can emerge from the most unexpected places. It taught them that courage and kindness could come from the most unlikely sources, and that every act of bravery, no matter how small, could make a world of difference. The hospital, the staff, and the community were forever changed, united by the memory of the lion and the precious gift it had given them.